So we will begin with Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sarah Wallet with an opening statement.
Thank you all for being here today. Let me be clear, abortion is still legal in Michigan and our doors are open, but my heart is breaking for the millions of patients who are living in states that are cutting off abortion access today and in the days and weeks to come.
Recording in progress.
I'm going to say that again. To be clear, abortion is still legal in Michigan and our doors are open. But my heart is breaking for the millions of patients living in states that will cut off abortion access today and in the days and weeks to come. As an abortion provider, I know how devastating it is to sit in an exam room and tell a patient I can't help them because state politicians have restricted their access to care. This scenario will now be a daily reality for my colleagues and their patients in hostile states across the country. Here in Michigan, we're still providing care, and I'm working with our team of expert doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals to ensure we can provide care to as many patients as possible. We are not going anywhere. I'm going to leave this press conference and go continue to provide abortions to patients who need them here in Michigan. And we will never stop fighting to protect abortion access.
Hi, I echo Sarah's thank you for being here. As you can hear clearly, this is a very emotional day for not only Planned Parenthood of Michigan and the patients and communities that we serve, but people across this country, the majority of whom believe that Roe should not have been overturned. I am furious that the Supreme Court ignored half a century of settled law and ended the constitutional right to abortion by overturning Roe v. Wade. As much as we've been planning for this decision and we saw it coming, it still is like a punch in the gut. We are going to continue. It is our profound commitment to ensure that every patient, no matter where they live across this great state, has access to the health care that they need and they deserve. And I want to lift up and I want to say loudly and proudly that abortion care is still legal in the great state of Michigan. And it is legal, I must say, because of the very hard work of Planned Parenthood of Michigan and Dr. Sarah Wallet, who's a party to the lawsuit. So as you think about reporting on this story, I ask you to do so not from the framework merely of the words on that decision page, but think about the people that you know, your readers, your viewers, all of whom likely know someone who has received abortion care in the past. And if they don't, they will know someone who will need it in the future. And think about the healthcare deserts across this country that this decision is now causing. Thank goodness for the team members at Planned Parenthood of Michigan, who, though very sad today, remain undeterred, and we remain focused. We will not be defeated, and will move forward so that people can get the care that they need. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sarah and Paula. We can now take questions. If you would like to use the raise hand feature and let us know who you would like to talk to. All right, I see Joshua Sanchez.
Hi, this is Josh Sanchez with WLNS 6 News out in Lansing. I was just interested from hearing from the group, what does today's decision coming out of Washington mean for the 1931 abortion ban law. And I understand there's several court battles right now, and I just wanted to hear from the group, what does this mean for that fight?
Sarah, I'll start. I mean, it goes back to PPMI anticipating this moment in time. And it means that this ruling, the law cannot be enforced. The Supreme Court decision cannot be enforced while our case proceeds, so that people in Michigan can continue to access safe and legal abortion.
Okay, Kate Wells.
Yeah, my question is for Sarah. Sarah, you talked at the rally in Ann Arbor about what you had been hearing from patients already since the leak, some of their confusion. I know there were concerns about when this decision eventually came, increasing confusion among women in Michigan and potentially a chilling effect. It's really a two-parter. Can you talk to me more about what you have been hearing from patients about this? And then also, are you worried, is Planned Parenthood worried about a potential chilling effect in Michigan, even though it is available?
Yeah, thanks for the question. We have patients in our health centers across the state right now who are hearing the news as we hear it. We are reassuring them that we will be able to care for them today. We can provide them with their abortion that they came to us and that they want and need. We are trying to get that message out to everybody. Come to your appointment next week. Come to your appointment this afternoon. We are here for you. Abortion is legal in Michigan, and we're going to continue to fight to make sure that that remains. Abortion is healthcare, and it is essential that we maintain access to that healthcare in the state of Michigan. I do worry that people will be confused, so I can't say it often enough. Abortion is legal in Michigan. You can still access that care here today.
Thank you. Malachi?
Thank you. This would be a question for the both of you. The dissenting opinion notes that there's an estimated increase in maternal mortality that will come with abortion bans. And there's a particular disparity among Black women who face a higher risk of some negative consequences there. Can you speak to what impact this ruling will have? If Michigan comes into a situation where abortion is no longer legal, what kind of health impact will that have on Black women, other marginalized communities in the state?
Abortion is healthcare. Not being able to access healthcare is devastating. The United States is a country with high levels of maternal morbidity and mortality. Getting pregnant in this country is a dangerous thing to do, and that is worse for Black and Brown people because of systemic racism. Not having access to abortion will increase that for people. Having an abortion is safer than continuing a pregnancy and going through childbirth. And we are removing, this decision removes that option from people. There will be an increase in maternal mortality and morbidity. People will be harmed because of this decision today, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And think about the historical disparities, and all that has happened today is that has been layered upon and layered upon and layered upon. So if we think about the historical health disparities in this country, particularly as it pertains to Black people and other people of color, as a pie that's that big, it is now this big. And it affects every single aspect of a person's life and how they choose to move forward down their path. The Supreme Court has effectively just blocked not only Roe v. Wade, but has blocked the trajectory of people's lives, whether they can make a decision for themselves to carry a pregnancy forward, whether based on that they can decide to continue their education, whether based on that they can get a job. This is going to immediately have a devastating impact on so many people. When I think back to when I was younger and I had to get abortion care, and what if I couldn't? And where would I be? And that is the question that I hope that we all continue to lift up. And along with that, continue to lift up what Dr. Wallet said. Planned Parenthood of Michigan, abortion care is legal. We are here for you. Our doors are open, and we're going to damn well make sure that they stay open.
Okay, thank you. Dave Boucher.
Hi, excuse me. This is for both of you, and it kind of feeds off of what you just said. CEO Thornton Greer, can you both talk about just the logistical impact that this decision has on operating the centers that you have? I know you've talked about patient reticency and some misinformation and some confusion. So what do you have in place to just keep everything up and running, especially up to and until something happens with the injunction or something with the 1931 law?
We're expecting to see more people who need abortion care from places where, as of just an hour ago, abortion is now inaccessible. Places like Wisconsin, places like Ohio, where there'll be significant bans immediately put in place. We expect those patients to need to access care, and some of those patients will come to Michigan for that. So we're preparing to help support them and see as many patients as we can, preparing for that increased need here in Michigan.
Right, and just to echo what, or riff a little bit on what Sarah was saying, Dr. Wallet was saying, we are having to take a look at our capacity and ensuring that we have everything in place to again be there for the patients that need the care. This is not something that we've just started thinking about today. This is something that the affiliate Planned Parenthood of Michigan has been thinking about for quite some time. And you will find no stronger group of people more committed to ensuring that we're able to meet that care than at Planned Parenthood of Michigan. This is a new chapter. This is a new chapter in healthcare. And we are going to meet this moment, to continue meeting this moment. And it's going to take all of us. It's going to take the fine people at Planned Parenthood of Michigan, and it's going to take the voices and the support of people across the state. Because I go back again and I say, the majority of people across this country believe that Roe v. Wade should not have been overturned and that abortion care should be legal. So everybody lift your voice and make that known. Just because the decision came down today does not mean it is the time to be quiet. We need your support as we continue to forge forward.
The options and healthcare that pregnant people across this country enjoyed 2 hours ago was just taken away. There will be people who cannot access the healthcare they need and will not be able to determine the trajectory of their life in the same way that they could just a few hours ago. That is devastating. And it will take all of us working together and fighting to get back to a place where people had all of those options and access to healthcare that we had just a few hours ago.
Thank you. Ben Solis.
Thank you both for having this. As you're most likely aware, some Republicans in the House have put forward a new piece of legislation to restrict abortion access, thinking that this new one will somehow add more teeth to the 1931 law. So I'm guessing, what do you guys think this means for the upcoming election? As devastating as this is for you today, is this going to be a rallying cry for those who may have been sitting on the fence in this fight to protect access?
We are not currently commenting on Rep. Cara's bill, but I will definitely let Paula answer on potential repercussions for advocacy work.
I'm going to say this. Anything that attempts to take away or diminish access to care for people is frighteningly wrong. We are going to continue to provide care. People may try, but we are going to continue to provide care, abortion care, other reproductive and sexual health care. We, Planned Parenthood of Michigan, is going to continue to provide care. Period, point blank.
Thank you, Paula. And then again, I urge you to join the Reproductive Freedom for All Coalition call at 11:45 if you would like to ask more political questions. Our Planned Parenthood Advocates of Michigan Executive Director Nicole Wells-Stallworth will also be there, as will leaders of ACLU of Michigan and Michigan Voices. All right, next it looks like we have David Horak from Wood TV8.
Good morning. Ashley, you probably already answered my question in regards to what, Paula, you can specifically say to my question. That is, there's going to be activism, that we already have protests planned on the west side of the state here. But as for your guys' standpoint, lobbying is no secret. What are you, Ashley, I'm sure you're going to answer this, but Paula, if you could, what is Planned Parenthood of Michigan's plans to possibly talk messages to congressional delegates in possibly seeking, checks and balances that Congress can have on Supreme Court justices, since they can possibly be impeached or convicted, and given your stance, there's also that too. So is there a possibility that you guys may be lobbying for that, Ashley or Paula?
I'm going to refer you to my esteemed colleague over at Planned Parenthood Advocates Michigan. What I will tell you is that I am so grateful for the work that Nicole and Planned Parenthood Advocates of Michigan are doing, because the work that they are doing is in full recognition and support of the importance of the matter before us now, this matter of access. So I encourage you to speak with Nicole directly about that question. But thank you for that, David.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here and able to answer that question. My name is Nicole Wells-Stallworth, and I am the Executive Director for Planned Parenthood Advocates of Michigan. And it is our mission at Planned Parenthood Advocates of Michigan to protect the ability of our affiliate at Planned Parenthood to continue to provide sexual and reproductive health care services, including abortion. To answer your question about what we're doing and what kinds of conversations we're having with the congressional delegation, we haven't really, I think everyone understands that this is a very devastating moment, and we believe that the court system has been compromised because we have justices who have begun to make decisions and issue opinions based on philosophies that are not necessarily reflective of what the general public believes, and also in utter disregard to precedent that we know that we have seen over the last 50 years. Our congressional delegation is obviously very concerned about that and very tapped in. I can't give you a definitive as to the legislative policy agenda. However, I can tell you that we are in constant contact and conversation about how we might be able to advocate for a more fair and just system going forward. We have found ourselves in a place that we have never been with the court system. And so it's something that we are all working diligently in collaboration with Planned Parenthood Federation of America to address.
Ashley, may I ask a follow-up question?
Yes, but we are on a time limit, so please keep it brief.
Nicole, just overall reaction to how the Supreme Court justices who were recently appointed, how in many people's reflections on the matter, what is your reaction to them kind of flip-flopping their stance on Roe v. Wade from their appointment hearings, which is public record, to this decision that we saw coming but now is official today. Just overall reaction in that particular part of that. Thank you.
I mean, I echo the reaction of my colleagues. It's devastating and disappointing, period. I feel that the American people were misled during those hearings and those confirmation hearings about these individuals' positions. And we had the opportunity to look at their positions based on their historic decisions on court cases. And therefore, in this moment, it is incredibly disappointing to see that we are where we are with the current composition of the United States Supreme Court.
Thank you.
Okay, Sam Schreiber, I know you're having some difficulty raising your hand, but you can ask your question if you would like to.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate it. So my question is for either one on the panel. How did we get to this point as a society? And how would you describe this new world that today's decision initiated?
That's an excellent question. How did we get here? And I think there is a small but very vocal faction of this country that has continued to push this forward for 50 years. I think if you think back to that fateful day when Donald Trump made a promise that he was going to bring this to be, and he kept that promise, I think you really have to dissect this completely. You know, Sarah, Dr. Wallet alluded to systemic racism. That is part of it. I think that the rights of women and LGBTQ, that is part of it. This has been a concerted effort, a concerted power play to continue to take away rights and continue to oppress people. So there are many reasons for why we got here today. As for what it means now, it means that we fight. Today does not mean that the fight stops. It means that we retool and we fight even more. The landscape has shifted completely, leaving millions of people across this country and so many people across this state at a loss as to what to do. Well, we're going to be here for them. We're going to continue to be here for them. So when you write about this story, when you report about this story, report this, please. Report that we must remember the individuals that this decision will impact starting now. We must report the ripple effect that this decision will have on individuals and communities collectively starting now. And we must report that Planned Parenthood of Michigan is not going anywhere. We are there and we are continuing to fight. And that fight will be emboldened by joining with people across the state. And finally, please report on the devastating impact that this will have on health disparities across this state. This is a public health emergency.
Thank you. It looks like we have two more questions. Let's go with Allison Donahue.
Hi, thanks for holding this today. I was just wondering.
Allison, you're breaking up a bit.
Concerned that there will be.
Allison, we can't understand you. Could you type your question in the chat? And we can take Valerie's question for now.
Hi, thank you so much for providing this opportunity to have this discussion. When you talk about the fact that abortion is still legal in Michigan, you talked about, you're going to have an influx of women coming from other states. I am, are you concerned for your safety? Do you feel like the concerns for your safety have gone up a notch because we have neighboring states who now suddenly, abortion is not legal and they'll be coming here?
But I want to make this really clear. Thank you for that question. There is no end that we will not go to ensure the safety of our patients and our team members. Know that this is a paramount priority for Planned Parenthood of Michigan.
And Dr. Wallet, would you like to respond back to an increase in patients?
Yep, as Paula said, we're going to do everything to take care of as many patients as we can. And we will do everything we can to make sure our patients and our staff are safe. We know that anti-abortion protesters do come to our health centers. We are prepared for that. We will support our patients through that. And it will not stop us from doing our work. If anything, it encourages me to keep going, to keep providing the healthcare that my patients deserve.
And then the question from Allison Donahue was, are you concerned that there will be an increase in harassment against patients and providers with this news? And is Planned Parenthood preparing for that today? I do think Paula mentioned a little protecting staff. Is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, the concern is always there. You are going to always have people that take it to a different level. But again, we understand that and we are prepared for that. And I want our team members and our patients to know, as Dr. Wallet said, we take every step to ensure their safety. We see them. We see the protesters out there. And let me just say, you can stand out there, but you won't change our drive to ensure that we're getting care to people.
It is appalling to have this conversation that we have to talk about the fact that harassment will increase because patients need to get health care, and physicians like myself are doing our jobs and doing what we are called to do by providing that health care. I just want to point out how appalling it is that we have to have that conversation and have to think about it because of the work that we do, that we have to worry that our patients aren't safe because they need health care.
Okay, we are going to take our last question from Jonathan Osting. But before we go there, I did want to add a note. This was included in our press release and some advance notice, but again, please do not come to health centers during patient hours to try to talk to patients or record them. It's really intimidating for them. There will be likely an increase in protesters. We don't want to add to that with media as well. There are rallies happening at 5 p.m. in Detroit, Lansing, and Kalamazoo. If you want to talk to some activists about their reactions, that will be posted on our Planned Parenthood Advocates of Michigan social media with details there. So I encourage you to go there if you would like that type of thing. Jonathan, would you like to ask the final question?
Yeah, sure. My question was actually going to be quite similar to that last one, so I'll pivot a little bit. Do you have any recommendations for how people upset by this ruling should be protesting? I mean, we saw yesterday, I believe it was Congressman Wahlberg's office was vandalized. Obviously, there's going to have people with very strong opinions on all sides of this. Do you have any recommendations for, how people can channel their frustration into, I guess, productive efforts?
Donate to abortion funds to make sure that people can continue to access the health care they need. Donate to Planned Parenthood. Donate to other abortion providers who are going to be trying to make sure they provide care to as many patients as possible.
All right, thank you all so much for attending this press conference. Again, if you would like to hear from the Reproductive Freedom for All Coalition, that press conference starts at 11:45. Nicole Wells-Stallworth will be there to speak. I will send this recording to the same media list that the press release was sent to. You can email me at media@ppmi.org. If you're still interested in individual interviews, please know that we do have a lot of requests, so we may not get to all of them, but I will try to respond to your emails there. Thank you again, and we will talk to you more in the weeks to come.